Jungkook BTS shocks the world again. His latest global achievement makes ARMY proud. Hello pop idol. Every once in a generation, the world witnesses a moment that feels larger than life. A name becomes a movement. A voice becomes a revolution. And a dream, once whispered in the dark, rises loud enough to shake the planet. This is that moment. And this is Jeon Jungkook. The night the earth held its breath. The year was 2025. The venue, the Global Music Icon Awards, hosted in London, broadcast live to over 120 countries. The final category of the night was about to be announced. Global Artist of the Year. It was the award that transcended boundaries, the one that measured not just streams or sales, but cultural impact, influence, artistry, and global reach. The crowd was tense. Some names had already been predicted, big Western artists, viral stars, seasoned legends. But when the screen lit up, and the Global Artist of the Year goes to, the room fell silent. Then, in bold letters, Jeon Jungkook, South Korea. The audience gasped. Some stood, stunned. Others cried. And across the globe, from Seoul to Sao Paulo, from New York to Nairobi, fans screamed, wept, and chanted his name. The world reacts, a global heartbeat. Within minutes, hashtags flooded every platform. #Jungkook Global Icon. #Jeon Jungkook deserves it. #ARMY celebrates the king. Twitter X collapsed under the weight of millions of real-time reactions. TikTok flooded with clips of fans reacting in disbelief, joy, and pride. Instagram exploded with stories from celebrities, influencers, and fellow musicians paying tribute to Jungkook. Major news outlets across continents posted headlines within seconds. BBC, Jeon Jungkook, the boy from Busan who conquered the world. New York Times, not just a K-pop star, Jungkook wins Global Artist of the Year. Le Monde account Jungkook, the world listens to Jungkook. Even other artists bowed their heads with admiration. Beyoncé tweeted, "What a moment. Congratulations, Jungkook. You are the future." The Weeknd posted, "One of the most powerful performances I've ever seen." It wasn't just a win. It was a cultural shift. The weight of a journey, from Busan to the world. But how did we get here? What is the story behind the boy who once stood in the back of the room, unsure if his voice would ever be heard? Jungkook was 13 when he left home to pursue a dream that most would call impossible. He wasn't the loudest. He wasn't the boldest. But he had something rare. Persistence. Discipline. Unshakable humility. As a trainee at Big Hit, Jungkook often trained until dawn. He danced through injury. He sang until his voice cracked. He didn't complain. He simply worked. When BTS debuted, Jungkook was the youngest. The Magni. The one the world initially saw as cute or shy. But he was also the most focused, the most versatile. He learned fast. He studied the legends. He molded himself not into someone else, but into someone greater than anyone imagined. And slowly, the world began to notice. The solo explosion that changed everything. In 2023 and 2024, as BTS entered individual chapters during their military service, Jungkook didn't pause. He didn't rest. He soared. With the release of 7, the world sat up and listened. When Standing Next to You dropped, he wasn't just topping charts. He was owning them. Global radio play, billions of streams, and universal acclaim followed. He was invited to the Grammys, performed at Coachella, and headlined Lollapalooza as a solo artist, the first Korean soloist to do so. Critics couldn't categorize him anymore. Was he pop? R&B? Dance? Funk? Neo-soul? The answer? He was Jeon Jungkook. The speech that made the world cry. Back at the award ceremony, Jungkook walked to the stage with calm steps, holding his breath, the room roaring behind him. He took the mic. His voice was steady. but his eyes trembled. When I was young, I watched others hold trophies like this on TV. I never imagined I would one day hold one, not just for myself, but for all of us who ever felt unseen. This is for my brothers in BTS. This is for ARMY. This is for every person who ever thought their dream was too big. You are not too small for this world. The world just hasn't heard your voice yet. He bowed, deeply, humbly. Not as a king, but as a servant of his art. More than an artist, a symbol for generations. Jungkook's impact is no longer limited to music. He's been studied by Harvard and Yonsei University as a case study in digital global influence. He's spoken at the United Nations on youth mental health. He's launched campaigns for underprivileged students in Southeast Asia. He donated millions to animal welfare, education, and emergency aid. To fans, he's more than an idol. He's hope. He's a mirror of their own resilience. Many armies say, "I didn't just support Jungkook. I became stronger because of him." What's next? The future he's building. The night of his award, fans noticed something interesting. Jungkook wore a bracelet with a symbol, one that hadn't been seen before. Later, it was revealed, the logo for Project Jeon, a multidisciplinary creative studio Jungkook is launching in 2026. Through this, he aims to produce music for emerging Asian talents, mentor young visual artists and choreographers, launch documentaries on silent cultural figures, collaborate with scientists and tech innovators for creative healing therapy. He's also writing a memoir, set to be published worldwide in multiple languages, titled Standing Next to Myself. Jeon Jungkook, the voice of a new era. Tonight, the lights dim. The fans go home. The award is placed on a shelf. But what remains is the story. A story about a boy who didn't think he was special, but chose to keep trying anyway. Falling, rising, failing, reaching. He didn't start with a spotlight, but he carried a spark that couldn't be ignored. A story about a fan base that refused to give up. On him, on themselves, on each other. Millions of voices, scattered across the world, but united by one heartbeat. By one belief. That love, when fearless, can be history-changing. A story about how art, when made with honesty, can cross oceans, break down walls, and find a home in the soul of someone who needed it most. Jungkook is no longer just the golden magnate of BTS. He is a cultural force. He is a generational voice. He is the echo of every dream whispered in the dark. He is living proof that when you keep walking, even when the road disappears, you can become the path for others. Jeon Jungkook. This world wasn't ready for you, but it is grateful you came. And we are better for it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know, how has Jungkook inspired your life? What moment changed your heart forever? Let your voice be part of this story, because your voice matters, too.